So sitting there at breakfast this morning, seeing these old people sit around the table, and they're doing a little bit of politicking, a little bit of complaining about this road needing built, and this tax this, and this person paid that for their house, and then they start making fun of their friend. And I bet this friend used to have a spot at their table, but their friend had a different opinion on the vaccine. Maybe an unpopular opinion with some, and to hear the snarls and the laughs and the blah blah blahs, and just to hear the discontent these people had for somebody that had a different opinion. And I guarantee that person knew more than they did about what they were talking about. I've listened to the ridicules. I've seen the way people will treat each other, how family members will treat each other, people they've known their whole life, over something. You know, when this thing first started, I started asking questions about Dr. Charles Lieber, the Harvard professor that built the Wuhan lab. You know, back when Fauci and the rest of these asswads were on TV telling you this thing came from a bowl of bat soup from a wet market. And then when that started to wear off, no, it was a pangolin. A pangolin did it. Somebody ate a freaking pangolin, and the pangolin poisoned everybody, poisoned the whole world. And they just kept promoting it. And before it even hit our shores, they'd already arrested Dr. Charles Lieber, the Harvard professor that China was paying to build and set up the Wuhan bioweapons level 4 lab. The one that's owned by a subsidiary of none other than Pfizer, the leading money maker on the miracle cure. So I was asking questions about that way back when I was just an idiot, you know. And they're like, no, this is bat soup and blah, blah, blah. They got all bowl of bat soup spread across the world like that. I got you. Everybody knows now it didn't come from bat soup, right? So now today's breaking news. Francis Collins, Tony Fauci's boss. See, he got busted out in some emails, you know, the little Freedom of Information Act. Slow but steady, they get these emails out, and it shows the NIH's support. See, Obama, as much as a lot of us like to hate Obama, and Obama did one thing right. In 2011, he outlawed this Frankenscience, you know, this mutating viruses to make them kill humans. You know, taking things that aren't natural in the human world and making them natural and weaponizing them in the human world. And Obama outlawed this in the United States of America in 2011. So Dr. Franken Fauci took it overseas, started funneling money through these other organizations and pumping it into China, because China don't give a shit. China will do whatever. So you got Dr. Charles Lieber setting up the lab. You got Dr. Fauci and Dr. Collins funding it. You got Peter Daszak over there giving the research away, and he's the middleman for the money. Got all this American interest. You got Pfizer. Pfizer. Pretty much. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you get to own things in China, but apparently they do. So you got American fingerprints all over this thing. And these guys are like, it's just a virus. These old coots. It's just a virus. Just like it was just bat soup. Just like Trump was definitely a Russian spy. Just like everything. So the dumbest among us, the ones that just read the headline and they just believe everything scooped out as a pile of shit on their plate, the dumbest among us, they get to dictate who's an idiot and who's not an idiot. These people that believed all this bullshit tripe way back when, the guy that said, man, maybe we should question this, was ostracized, was taken away from the table. The man could not sit at the table any longer. We can't hang out with this fool, this science denier, this moron, this guy. And to this day, as Dr. Francis Collins resigns in disgrace. And I got banned from Twitter last night because I said resigned in disgrace. Worldwide genocide. You're talking treason in every country, and you're talking about the guy has to resign in disgrace. So I may have said something about, what they did to the witches at Salem or something, talking about bringing some marshmallows, and they're like, you got to go, homeboy. You don't get to say that. Well, shoot. There goes that. Resigned in disgrace. Mass panic, mass murder, tyranny on the rise everywhere. Everywhere that freedom was, tyranny is on the rise. And these old coots at the table are like, it's just a virus. You've got all the leaders of all the free nations of the world chanting, build back better, build back better, build back better. And you don't think you're in a cult. You think this is just normal stuff. And if these filthy, dirty science deniers would just go out there and get their shot, I could go back to living my life and we could just build back better. If you're that person, if you're that person that believed the bowl of soup, that believed the Russian spy, if you believed everything, man, at what point are we just going to have to say, look, you don't have any credibility anymore. You're in timeout. I've been banned from like every platform off and on for the last 3-4 years. At what time are we going to start banning these people for just a minute? Say, hey, guess what? You don't get to talk for a couple weeks. You get to just sit back and listen. If we just silenced all the liars for just a couple weeks, maybe the morons sitting at that table would invite their friend back to the table. Maybe they would invite him back. Maybe they would be like, shit, maybe. They told us what they were going to do to us. The patents are there. The documents are there. The plans. The phrasing, the wordology, they all put it there for you to see, and you did nothing. You did nothing. But say, no, it was from a bat. This is just a virus. It'll go away. 2 weeks to slow the curve. Man. I asked about the PCR test way back when. With a smart person. Top of his field. Top of his field. And they couldn't even have the conversation. How can this sickness be, determined to be different? How can a test tell the difference between this one and any other variation that we've had over the last 2-3 decades? Are they going to lump them together? How dare you ask that question? It's a valid question. When all of science knows you can't magnify those tests above 30 and they're magnified on 45 times and above, they're obviously bad tests. They're obviously going to give false positives. When you ask that question, you're blocked, you're banned, you're an idiot. And then we get a new election and inserted a new president, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, we're going to dial back to magnification. And guess what happened when they dialed back to magnification? The cases started going down. Right as they introduced the new miracle cure, and what happened right after they introduced, they went up. And you look at these places that are really high in percentage of getting the miracle, they're up. And then those dirty, unclean, filthy people that aren't given that kind of medical care, their cases. And if you ask a question, you're going to get a label. You're going to get a fact check. You're going to get blocked. You're going to get banned. You're going to get ostracized for the table for asking a question. So no longer in free society are questions even allowed. You'll be removed from the table. You'll have to go sit at home by yourself, worried about your friends, worried about your family. The same morons that thought somebody was a Russian spy, that thought this was just a natural occurrence in nature that happened from a bowl of bat soup or a horny pangolin. You guys have been wrong the entire time. Not once have you been right about anything. At some point, you're going to have to look at the people that said, ha ha, you're wrong, and you moved away from the table. Sometime you're going to have to look at them and say, you know what, you might not be right about everything, but you ain't been wrong nearly as much as these people I've been listening to. I ain't got the answer for you, but damn. You think that guy ostracized from the table has a death wish, just wants to die? We have this self-preservation thing in our body, and his is kicked in. The rest of you are just following the line. You don't care if it goes off a cliff until you already fell. So eat your bat soup, pet your pangolin, do whatever you got to do. Most of them names I said you probably don't even know. Why don't you know those names? Why don't you know that Dr. Charles Lieber built that lab? Why don't you know that? Why aren't they telling you that? Why aren't you asking the question? How many more people are going to die? How many more people are going to be forced out of their jobs? How many people are going to have to lose their homes because they can't feed their family? You think we're going to get this back? You think Build Back Better means for you? Yeah. I remember this one time we were spending, what did we spend? A couple $1 trillion building up Afghanistan. Built Back Better.